Hello everybody, my name is Mathis and welcome to the Universim. This game I've been following for a long time. This is one of those pie-in-the-sky dream games where you play God and you start with like cavemen and hopefully usher them into the space age and they get to explore planets and you can keep doing things from there on out. The game is still pretty early in development. It has been being developed for a good year or two now, but still not quite there. But the newest update introduced saved games, and I haven't really featured the game on the channel yet, and I've wanted to for a while, and with the new saved game feature, I figure we can at least explore this game for a few episodes, see what's new. I've never really dove into the game super hard, even though I supported it a while ago, and we're just gonna check the game out and hope that the game is pretty fun. I've heard good things, and I really do have high hopes for the Universim. I remember its announcement video and all the promises it was loading onto the announcement video way back when. So we're gonna start brand new life, and we're gonna go through the tutorials and the basics of starting up a civilization. And it'll be really fun. This is like a true God game in that you have no direct control over your minions, over the creatures. You are there to merely influence them and try and push them in a very particular direction while building buildings and stuff and helping them along civilization. I don't know how far along in civilization you can get them, but I know with the newest update, they added a bunch of stuff as well as the ability to save the game. So it should be really fun to check out. And the game is pretty gorgeous to look at. So welcome, thank you all once again for dedicating your time and efforts towards improving the Universim throughout its development. The game is progressing well, but it's still in a buggy and unfinished state. These early releases are in no way representative of the final game, and their primary purpose is to test new functionality and systems as they're integrated into the main game. By playing and providing us with feedback, you are helping to shape the Universim into what it will eventually be. Keep an eye out for new patches and features in the coming months. Above all else, have fun. So we're gonna go yes on the tutorials, and this is basically just gonna give us the basic controls and stuff. So WASD will move things around. We can zoom in and out, and holding shift will rotate the planet a little bit on the faster side. I don't know if planets are randomly generated. I assume they are. So we can hit next, and the next thing we want to do is place our evolution tower, which marks the beginning of our civilization, and Nuggets, which are the name of the people, will begin building their residential buildings around it. Make sure you place the evolution tower close to nearby water sources, as it's essential source for your civilization's survival. It's also a good idea to have stones and trees relatively close to ensure that Nuggets have easy access to them to harvest important construction supplies. Simply click the left mouse button where you're hovering over a suitable location. So if we zoom on in, you can see, boom, this is what we're looking to place. And we want to place it near water and rocks and all kinds of stuff. And it looks like there's a good spot over here, but there's also another good spot over here in between 3 water sources. And it looks like we've got some rocks all around. So let's rotate the camera a little bit, and we'll just go ahead and place that right down there. And we'll say, yes, that's where we want to place our evolution tower. Saving in the Universim is done a little bit differently. You will need to build an archive structure and use it to save your game. Be sure to build one early and keep it in good repair so you don't lose progress. That's a really cool way, I think, of doing save games. You can't just save whenever. You need to have, like, recorded history. The evolution tower is the engine that drives evolutionary progress of your civilization. From here, you can select which advancements Nuggets research and what kind of mutations add to their DNA, called perks. So I remember playing the game a little while ago and having these very similar options here, so we're going to skip ahead. This is basically rare perks, ultra rare perks, legendary perks, all kinds of stuff. We can do that by clicking on this tower here and picking things, which we'll do here in a minute. It is important to note that every perk other than evolutionary perks refresh after each successful research attempt. You can only select one perk to research at a time, so choose wisely. It might be a good idea to research yellow and green perks before the next big evolutionary step. However, you also don't want to stagnate your civilization for too long and risk famine or other unfortunate side effects. The requirements section showcases what research items need to be completed. Some perks might require you to sacrifice nuggets. Research can be dangerous. They will need to go through the phase where they think strapping palm leaves to their arms will allow them to fly. So basically, death is going to happen. It's just a natural cycle for these nuggets. Learn how to influence nuggets to build things you want. At the bottom left, click the construction menu. Okay, I remember doing that. And a Nuggets hut is almost as essential as their well-being for food and water. This is their home, and they will return here as often to either rest or mate. The hut displays information about its residents, like how much food they are consuming and how many children they have. You can easily locate any of your huts by clicking their portrait in the UI. Every potential family needs to have a hut, and Nuggets will automatically construct huts when required. So we don't even have to tell them to make houses. They will just make houses on their own. Every nugget is unique and possesses their own vital needs. They need water, food, and rest in order to survive. They are also sensitive to the environment around them. If the local temperature is too hot or cold, they might die. Nuggets will form families and reproduce as time goes by, and their offspring will do the same eventually. We want nuggets to feel like real living creatures, and we want you to care about them. We hope you give them feeling that you're playing with something like an ant farm. Your actions will have consequences, and nuggets will respond to nearly everything you do. Already, Elu and Adahai have tied the knot. They look forward to their hour-long home. I guess so. We've already got a couple of our nuggets got married. If you find yourself not knowing, we can always hover your mouse over the element to see tooltip explanation. All right, so if we zoom on in really close, you can actually see we've got our nuggets running around already. And two already got married. They're farming some things, and it looks like they're making a stone hut. What we're going to do is we're going to research. We can do 2 researches, it looks like. We can do primitive tools, which gives them increased might, nugget accessories, and engineer's hut. Primitive waterworks, water well, water pump, and water reservoir. And then footwear, nuggets movement speed +5. So why don't we do at least waterworks? And then we might as well grab footwear for them as a secondary research. It's going to take a little longer, but at least the yellow is temporary. And after you do a research phase, it all gets reset, as you remember. So we're going to have that go. And if we go into our, over here, we can see if we can actually build our archive, which is, this is allow us to save the game. So if we hold Q and E, we can rotate it. And we're not going to worry too much about, we're going to go ahead and put this here, about organization, because we are just a cavemen. So let's go ahead and put this down here, and hopefully they'll just go ahead and research it. Now we're just going to wait for waterworks to be done. We'll go ahead and research might increase nugget accessories. We'll go ahead and research primitive tools. But with waterworks research, we can now start giving them water. And as you can see, they need water. So we got a bunch of things that unlocked. We have a reservoir. We have a water pump. We have the archive, which we already put down. And over here, a well. So let's go ahead and get the water pump down. Water pumps can only be built on shores. Water sources hold a finite amount of water, which means that their reservoirs can be depleted over time. A water pump's panel displays information regarding the current supply and demand of the epicenter as much as water level. You can build as many pumps as you want, but remember that pumping water will have an impact on fish population. So again, driving home the fact that this is trying to be like a straight up God sim. Everything you do is going to have an impact on the planet and its resources. We're going to put that down. And then, you know, as your people live, they're going to deplete these resources, giving them the need to be better managed and be careful. Every building in the game uses water in varying amounts. A number of buildings even have their own water storage area that can in case of supply shortages. Current water usage. Can we pause it? Yes, we can. All right, cool. A number of buildings even have their own water storage area in case of supply shortages. The current water usage status of a building is indicated by the blue ring above it. If the blue ring is glowing, the building is functioning and using the displayed amount of water. If the ring is pulsing red, it means there isn't enough water being supplied to your building. All right, so that's fine. We've got a water pump now. If we hover over this, well, let's go ahead and unpause it. There's the people who live here. Okay, we actually have this now too, and we can save YouTube save file. Oh, we need an archivist. Mining stone, mining stone. Well, let's assign a nugget, and then we can save it. Boom, done. Cool. So now we can just like, yes, we'll unassign the nugget, and we already have a save. So in order to even save, we can actually turn the building off. We actually have to assign an archivist to come and like write the history of our world. I like that. That's really, really neat. All right, well, let's do some other buildings. I think getting a well in the center of town is probably a good idea. We also have an engineer's hut. So basically, depending how close it is to the water pump, it'll determine how quickly they can get water to it. The number while hovering is basically how fast it'll get replenished. So over here, 21. I don't know if 20 is good or not, but I'm thinking because, you know, we want make sure make sure they get water. We'll keep it relatively close. So they now have a well. So let's go over here and see what we can do some research. So we're still researching this, but we can do some other things. So we can do recreation, like most creatures of cough intelligence. The nuggets need some form of entertainment in order to stay happy. There had been too many instances of setting each other on fire. Okay, until a few of the more enterprising nuggets to dedicate their time to recreational activities. They were immediately called lazy. So we can do local businesses, fishing, and cooking. Well, I feel like fishing is probably going to be good for food. So why don't we go ahead and start researching fishing? We're still like researching footwear, of course. All the while, there's other things we can still build. So an engineer's hut is a home to all engineer nuggets. It holds the tools and knowledge necessary to build and repair structures. Engineer nuggets assigned to this building will automatically begin construction of structures you place and repair damaged building in your spare time. That's actually a pretty useful thing. So let's go ahead and have this up and running. And it looks like they're building a new hut, which is great. Now, we can't actually get more nuggets until they start boning. So until they start boning, we don't have the opportunity to get more children. However, one of the cool things we can do while they do this is we can actually explore the planet, which is awesome. I think you can actually like crash into rocks and stuff. But I don't know what else is around. Is that just a stone? I don't think there's like proper wildlife in the game yet, but there is weather and stuff. So you have to be careful when going through, the storms. Ooh, if you go through clouds, you have the water that goes across your screen. There's like deserts over here. Each planet has, separate biomes, and you can zoom out pretty far, and you can see, like, they clearly, we're going to be able to go into space one day, which is awesome. I'm excited. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's any wildlife yet. I'm excited for the day they introduce wildlife, and I assume maybe one day we'll end up having the ability to have, like, opposing factions on the planet and stuff. It reminds me of Spore a little bit. And as bad of a game as Spore was, it was also still a really fun game. If we want to go back, we can do this, and it'll bring us right on back home. Because it's very easy to get lost in your own home planet, is all I'm saying. There they are. We can go ahead and speed up on our own now, take control. And looks like it's getting night. So there are parts of the planet that are dark while the parts are light, like it's a rotating planet, which is really cool. So this stone hut got its final touches. They are indeed consuming food. And we're still researching and all kinds of stuff, so we're not going to have to worry about that. Well, while that's going on, how about we give them something more to build? We can give them... We already have an archive, but there was a reservoir, right? Reservoir. In case you were wondering what can be done with all the excess water you're generating, here's the answer. Reservoirs store excess water for later use. If the water supplies suddenly come to a screeching halt, reservoirs will ensure that your civilization stays afloat for a short period of time while making the necessary fixes. By the way, everything we're building actually is using supplies. They have to go out and like chop down trees and stuff. So building a reservoir takes 20 trees and 30 rock, and at the bottom you can see we only have 15 rock and 5 trees. They're not actually going out and doing anything. Handy when you're generating more water than your civilization is able to use. All excess water generated can be stored in reservoirs and used for later if the supply ever fails. So building basically a reservoir is not a bad idea, because I think what I'm also going to end up doing is building a secondary water pump for us. That'll end up being hopefully useful. And I think we're going to hit this one over here. So this is all going to go under construction because we need supplies. This actually ended up getting built, which is great. And it's actually starting to store water, which is even... I didn't expect it to store water that early. We might actually just want to abort this construction right now. Don't worry about this. Well, we aborted it. Okay, there it goes. I was like, maybe it got glitched. Because if we're already starting to store water, then we're clearly not using nearly as much water as we thought. Why don't we go ahead and speed it up to ×2? Is that actually making it any faster? It is making it a little bit faster. So they can chop trees and start storing things. And how many people do we have? Anybody bang yet? Do we have children? I don't think we actually have any more than the 4 nuggets that we started with, it looks like. But because people have been married, I'm hoping that we will end up getting... to do that soon. Hopefully they're also foraging on their own for food. It looks like they are eating berries and stuff, so I assume they are foraging on their own. And once we have, fishing huts and whatnot, we're going to be looking good. So footwear, it appears that footwear research is finished and currently taking effect, so that's good. We can do other things. So nugget might plus 10%. Why don't we pause it for a split second? Ooh, a bunch of stuff just popped. Okay. Storage areas. Gathering vast quantity of resources often leads to age-old problems. So we can get a warehouse for storage. Nugget hunger minus 2%, and we can get an eatery. Recreation obviously is there. Damn it. Pump output power. Ooh, power. After the discovery of the dam waterways fill much easier. With a bit of dam practice, the dam nuggets, I like it, did manage to slightly improve water pump efficiency. Now, if only we could get them to keep their dam equipment in good repair and to stop with the dam jokes. Hey, good one. And then nugget might huge muscles. All right, why don't we go with Why don't we go with storing for warehouse? We'll get that up and running. It's not there anymore. And there it is. And why don't we go for... We'll research, I think, the dam. Because, again, all this is going to end up getting burned away if we're, don't get it. So we got to pick. Research complete, which we've already done. So with that research done, we can now make ourselves a fishing pier, which your civilization has figured out they can consume most other life forms without too many deadly repercussions. So we can build a fishery. It's like kind of work. It's like some spots are working. Oh, it's got to give it a second to like tick. So we can actually build like a fishing hut out here. So let's go ahead and put that down there. I think that might be a good idea. It looks like no new houses are being built, but this engineer's hut is actually being built, which is great. The problem is we still are only running down on 4 nuggets. They need to hurry up and bang. The quicker they start banging each other, the quicker we can start getting some fantastic children. And more children means more people living. Now, granted, that means more consuming of food, but for now, I think that's going to be okay. So you're going to head inside. Yeah! Hell yeah! They're boning. I love it. So you guys are not kind of doing your own thing. So let's actually assign... Let's actually wait. Let's see. Who are you? Kahoo-hoo. I'd like to assign you Kahoo-hoo. Oh, he's going to the archive. Well, let's go to Kahoo-hoo. Kahoo-hoo, you're going to be assigned here. Kahoo, please get in there. I'd like to save it. There he is. Save it. Yes. Beautiful. So you can bounce out now. Enjoy yourself. We don't have to turn it off or anything. And it looks like, boom, we've got ourselves a fishing hut being built over here. And they're chopping down the trees and mining the rocks, which is going to give us some supplies in the process. Which is fantastic. Good shit. Kahaha and Kahoo-hoo have tied the knot. Well, it's Chaha and Choo-hoo. But I like Kahaha and Kahoo-hoo better. Well, they tied the knot. So good. We have another married couple. Total number of kids. Okay, we actually have a kid in our population now. That's fantastic. And they're grabbing a drink to the well and having a nice conversation. I don't know if they actually can have conversations. And hey, there's our child. Well, a child. It's Yumga. He's a laborer, no spouse, and a bunch of stats that we can actually look at. But he's a baby, so he actually can't be an adult yet, which is fine. That doesn't bother me. And once we get a warehouse up and running, we can actually start storing as spare wood and all kinds of stuff. I don't think I can actually do anything as far as like, if I right click, apparently it brings me back to the center of the screen. Okay. Wait, can I chop this down? Okay, so I can pick it up and toss it. Okay, so I can actually pick things up and drop them as like a god, I guess. What's this number up here? Every power you use requires creator power points. These will refill slowly over time, so use them wisely. Oh, creator powers. All right, we got more banging happening. Our civilization is starting to pop off, fam. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is the creator powers. Creation. I don't know how to use creator powers yet. Well, I'm not going to worry about it then. Hopefully they'll just explain it to me in due time. In the slow, methodical build of our people, it's going to go well. New nugget named Z has arrived. They're a little too small and squishy to put to work just yet. Man, you guys have kids fast. You just bone and then that's it. That's the end of it. You just have the kid comes out immediately. That's more than anything, it's actually just impressive. I am impressed that your gestation period is about 30 seconds. So this is being built. So the fishing pier is going to be done, which is exciting. All right, so the fishing pier, we can assign a nugget to. Why don't we just go ahead and Choo-hoo, you are going to be the nugget that fishes. So you're just going to, so what happens is you go in here. Do you go out into the water? You are, yeah, you actually go out into the water and go fishing. That's kind of cool. Oh, don't sink. Okay, he doesn't go far, but that's all right. So he can actually go ahead and do his own fishing thing. And our research is almost done with the warehouse, which we're going to be able to build soon. I mean, we are limited on what we can actually make here. Now, we do have a couple of kids, so I'm not too worried about sending somebody off to do their own thing. Don't really need anybody in the engineer's hut yet. I just want to make sure we are getting food regularly. So we have Yumga, who just left childhood and is doing their own thing now, which is good for us. So the water is actually being used. We have once this starts going down, that's when we know we're going to need another pump. And I assume we'll eventually drain this over many, many, many years of just pumping water out of it. Were you all right? Spouse, doing nothing. You're just bored. All right, we got the warehouse is now stored. So now we can actually start storing things. We can't do it anywhere really other than like right over here. I mean, if we look around, where's like, if we are going to start farming, I don't know, maybe over here somewhere? Let's just put it down there. Because I can't find a good place to put it quite yet. And hopefully that's gonna help us. Time to put your summer bodies away. Autumn is here. Okay, so there are seasons. Oh, does that mean we're gonna have a deal with a frickin' winter and it's gonna end up whooping our ass if we're not careful? Agriculture. Yeah, we need to research for farming. I don't want to give it a second thought. Let's go ahead and farm. Now, granted, we had to fish first because that's what our people what we basically ended up drawing from the research. Planet's current oil, coming soon. So we don't actually have that. It's on the brink of collapse. Well, why don't we assign a nugget? Yumga, welcome to adulthood. We're going to assign somebody over in here so that you can actually go and repair things as needed. So he should automatically repair things now that he's an engineer, right? And that's him right there. And is he going to engineer's hut? All right, so things actually do break down over time. That's really good to know. So is he just gonna, he's just gonna go to his hut? All right, so we're actually now have even more water. Okay, so he's actually gonna go off and repair the dam now. All right, good. So we got food going here. He's off to, I assume he's going to repair. Fixing a building. Perfect. So yeah, Yumga, welcome to adulthood. We immediately shove you to work. Nugget might +5. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's get that nugget might +5. And we're going to have farms soon, which we can now hopefully do some farming. I wonder if we have to worry about soil. Granted, winter's coming up. Please don't bang. He's repairing your building right now. Your own son is repairing your building, and you just... See you, becoming an adult is the dumbest thing I've ever done. Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's just how life is. Yeah, alright. Well, they're just going to keep fucking, I guess. Zihu. Chopping wood. Gutting? Oh, he's gutting fish. Good. Well, why don't we get somebody over here. Mating. You know, Adahai, after you're done having lots and lots of sex, you're done. We're going to go ahead and save it. And you know what? Let's stop it here. If we hold space and move our mouse around, we can do that. If you guys want to see more, let me know in the comment section below, especially with a new series like this. Obviously, the likes and comments are the biggest indicators of whether you want to see more. I'm definitely willing to check out this for a few episodes, at the very least, to see what this new update brings along. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.